Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on Animal Kingdom. In here today we are going to deal with the next phylum, that is Mollusca. If you like the efforts and wish to help us reach out many more, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and do hit the bell icon so that you stay connected and get notified about all the videos on our channel Biophilia. Moving ahead in the kingdom of animals with the next phylum, that is Mollusca. Mollusca की दुनिया ऐसी है कि ये phylum is going to be the second largest in the animal kingdom. So if you remember, first largest हमने cover up कर लिया है, that was about Arthropoda. अब second largest पे पहुंच गए हैं, that is Mollusca, which is going to include soft bodied animals. Soft bodies में जैसे snails हो गए, octopus हो गए, squid हो गए. There are many more that we need to discover in this video. So without wasting any more time, just take deep into the world of mollusks. Now let's see the characteristics of our members that we are going to study in detail today. So ये mollusks जो होते हैं, the soft bodied organisms, these are going to be found in all habitats. वो चाहे aquatic हो या वो चाहे land पे living वाले terrestrial हो. So you can find them in oceans, they can be in coral reefs, they can be in deserts, forests, rivers, lakes, underground, you name it and you will get a mollusk. क्योंकि ये आते हैं second largest. जैसे Arthropoda में insects were found everywhere, arthropods were found everywhere. Just like mollusks भी होते हैं, these are also going to be found in many of the habitats. Now these are going to be the organisms which are going to have well developed organs, that is organ level of organization होगा. They will have a tube within a tube body plan wherein they will have the mouth and the anus that is going to be separate, two openings, and then they will be having bilateral symmetry. Now up till now हम mollusks तक पहुंच चुके हैं. So bilateral symmetry is very well understood to you. Triploblastic होंगे, that is 3 germ layer, coelomic, and this coelom is going to be what sort of coelom? Coelom is going to be the type that is schizocoelom. Okay, so what is schizocoelom? If you still don't remember about it, then you can go and check out the first part of this chapter in the link in the description box. तो schizocoelom और दूसरा type of coelom होता है, that is enterocoelom. So we have covered that as well in the first part of this chapter. So link will be provided down in the description box. So you can go and surely check out if you don't remember about these types of terms. Then very important thing कि अभी जो पिछला phylum हमने देखा था, that was about Arthropoda. There was segmentation found on the body. जैसे head region के बाद हमारा जो thorax और abdomen था, so thorax and abdomen had some segments, so that was making the body look segmented. But mollusk के केस में क्या होगा? Mollusk का phylum is not going to have any segmentations, so segmentations is going to be completely absent in the form of phylum Mollusca. So let's move ahead with some more characteristics of these mollusks. So about body form, when you speak body form जो होगा, as we discussed earlier, कि वो unsegmented होंगे, that is they won't have any segmentations found on their body, and they would have distinct head, visceral hump and muscular foot. So these are the three major components of their body, that is head, visceral hump and muscular foot. ये जो division है, that is only special for the case of soft bodied organisms that come under the phylum Mollusca. Arthropoda से अगर compare करो, so that you revise that as well side by side. So Arthropoda में you had head, thorax and abdomen, but in Mollusca what you will have head, visceral hump and muscular foot. So अब जो head region होता है, the head region is going to be anterior, वो आगे होगा of the body, and it will have mouth, क्योंकि head में as humans also have mouth, they will have mouth, they will have tentacles and eyes. So यहाँ पे अभी eyes develops, tentacles develop होना शुरू हुआ है. Then about foot, the foot is going to be large muscular part, muscles develop हो चुके हैं, and these are going to be the chief locomotory organ. So whatever the movement or the the organism has to change the places for various reasons, that is going to be because of the foot that is available. Then visceral hump. A visceral hump जो है, this is going to be very important when you consider for soft bodied mollusk. So visceral hump जो होगा, it is going to have first of all that is digestive tract. So all the digestion is going to be in this tract, and there will be some other visceral organs, like they can have their gonads, their heart, their nephridium, that is the kidney type. All that is also going to be present in this visceral hump. Now ये जो visceral hump होता है, since it has so many important organs, that is very important with the respect to the organisms living. So अगर ये visceral hump में कुछ भी हो जाता है, then the organism is not going to survive. तो उसको extra protection की ज़रूरत है. It needs to be covered properly. So that covering and that protection is going to be provided by the mantle. Who is going to provide it? The mantle is going to provide the protection over the head and the body surface. अब sometimes क्या होता है, इतना mantle से protection sufficient नहीं होता है. It needs more protection. Then in that case, what is going to happen? Some molluscs, they are going to secrete calcareous shell. Calcium से बना हुआ shell they are going to secrete, and that will be acting as an exoskeleton. So exoskeleton in the case of arthropods क्या था? It was chitinous. But in the case of mollusks, instead of chitin, there will be calcareous shell. So if you remember about the snails, so snails आपने देखे होंगे during the rainy seasons. So snails that have that round shell, वो जो shell होता है, that is nothing but the exoskeleton of the soft-bodied snail. So that is made up of calcium. So calcareous shell can be sometimes secreted. Not all mollusks are going to have this. The very important term, that is sometimes. यानी कुछ ही mollusk में ये shell होगा, कुछ में नहीं होगा, but still they will come under mollusk. Why? Because mollusk or mollusca is going to be related to soft bodies. उनका meaning क्या होता है? Soft bodies. They nowhere means that hard shell should be present. Only if they have small soft bodies, they can come under mollusca. So now as we have understood कि उनके पास mantle होगा, उनके पास shell हो सकता है. Now wherever there is going to be presence of shell in the organisms, तो जो space रहेगा between the shell and the mantle, that cavity is going to be called as mantle cavity. Since it is between the shell and the mantle, वो mantle cavity बनेगा, and between the mantle cavity there will be feather like gills. Now these feather-like gills are going to help in two functions, that is excretion and respiration. So if you see in the diagram as well, so first of all you are going to see the head region. So head region में क्या होगा? Head region में you will find the mouth, and in further slides we will understand that the mouth is going to have radula. So what is radula is going to come in just few minutes ahead in this video. फिर माउथ में जो रेड्यूला होगा, that makes up the head region. They might have antennas and eyes. Then the foot part, so foot is going to be muscular foot, वो locomotion में help करेगा. It would be made up of muscles, so there will be retractor muscles. Then we saw about the visceral hump. So अभी जो mark किया है उसको छोड़ के whatever is remaining, that all comes under the visceral hump. So visceral hump में digestive tract है, so you will have digestive glands, you will have stomach, intestine, other organs like gonads, heart. Okay, all this is going to come under the visceral hump. अब visceral hump को protection चाहिए, protection कौन provide करेगा? The mantle is going to provide the protection for the head and the body surface. So you can see head region पे कौन था? Mouth था, तो mouth is going to be covered, and even the body surface will be covered by the mantle. So if you want to observe the mantle, let me highlight it with the black one. So the black region, that is going to be nothing but your mantle. अब mantle और उसके ऊपर जो हमारा shell है, so this rounded parts that you can see is nothing but the shell. So shell और mantle के बीच में whatever is going to be present, that is shown by yellow, if you can observe, then that yellow is nothing but going to be the mantle cavity. What is it going to be? Mantle cavity. और ये cavity के अंदर there is going to be feather like gills. So you can see here, this is nothing but going to be your feather like gills. and these feather like gills are going to help in excretion and respiration. So ऐसे करके we have also understood the diagram. Moving ahead with the digestion process. So digestion process जो होगी, it is going to be because of the digestive glands, और digestive glands जो अपना secretion pass on करेंगे, because of that there is going to be extracellular digestion. Now extracellular digestion, that means the digestive system is going to be complete tract. So complete digestive system, that means it is going to have two openings, that is mouth and anus, separately. Now a very important point about the process of digestion or digestive system in mollusk, तो उनके पास एक special structure होता है, that is called as file like rasping organ, that is named as radula. So radula हमने पिछले slide में जो video the photograph that was, it had the labeling radula. So radula जो होता है, it is a rasping organ. So that rasping organ is going to be tooled with the transverse rows of chitinous teeth. Chitinous teeth होने की वजह से they can actually intake hard substances, break it into smaller pieces that they can ingest. So sometimes even radula can help ingest small stones. So small stones को they are going to crush and they are going to eat it. So that is nothing but because of the radula that will be present in the mouth. So radula कैसे होगा? It is going to be file-like and a rasping organ. So this is going to be the important about mollusca digestion. Then about the canal that is going to be present for digestion. So digestive tract जो होगा, the digestive tract is going to be a U-shaped tract. Very important, it is a U-shaped tract. Why U-shaped? Because the mouth and the anus are going to come one over the other. जैसे if you can see over here in this particular photograph, that if you try to track, so this is the mouth में से खाना intake हुआ, you go and try to pass through the stomach. When you go through the stomach, you enter the intestine. From the intestine they are going to come out of the anus. So if you try to follow the arrows, आपको क्या पता चलता है? That the anus is going to be sitting on top of the mouth. So mouth and anus is almost close to each other and they will be anteriorly placed. How will be they placed? They will be anteriorly placed and anus will be on the top of the mouth. और ये ऐसा क्यों होता है? What would you expect in normal cases till now what we have studied in the phylums? कि generally mouth and anus are on the same side, like start करो and you will end up at the other end of the tube. So you might expect that you start from this particular end and you end up over here. So you expect the anus to be here or somewhere you can expect कि ये shell के ऊपर से निकला है. So these are the two expected areas that are from the red color, but these are not going to be the places जहाँ पे anus होगा. The anus is going to be on the top of the mouth. And why does this anus location changes? This change is going to come because of torsion. What do you understand by torsion? Torsion is twisting. Now why this twisting of the tube occurs? This torsion is going to occur because of the shell. अब जो shell होता है in these mollusks, this is going to make to rotate in some degrees. तो rotate होते होते in a way there is going to be the shell which rotates and that makes this torsion to bring the anus on the top of the mouth. So anus जहाँ पे आप expect करोगे वो वहाँ पे नहीं होते हुए it will be on the top of the mouth because of the phenomenon that is torsion. And this torsion is going to be very important with the reference to mollusca digestive tract. It is U-shaped and torsion is going to be the word that you need to remember with the reference to digestive system. Now about respiration. तो respiration अगर वो aquatic life में है, then the aquatic, that means they need gills. So these gills also have different name, that is Ctenidia. So this Ctenidia is also going to be called as comb gills. So as we had seen about comb plates जो ctenophores में देखा था, now we have comb gills. So comb gills, that is nothing but Ctenidia, and that will be present in whom? It will be present in the mollusk. और अगर comb jellies आ गए तो comb jellies और comb plates, that is related to ctenophores. Now if you speak about the terrestrial mollusks जो land पे रहे, then the land creatures are going to have normally lungs for respiration. Now these lungs are nothing but the pulmonary sac. So उनके पास हमारे humans जैसे well developed lungs तो नहीं होंगे, but instead they will have pulmonary sacs which work or function just like lungs of the human beings. So if you want to understand it with the help of example, so example में is pilla. So pilla is going to have gills as well as the pulmonary sac, यानी since it can live in both aquatic and terrestrial regions, so उनके पास दोनों चीजें होती है, that is gills as well as the pulmonary sac for respiration. So this is going to be a previous year question, so it needs to be understood. तो एग्जाम्पल में पूछा जाता है that which organism has gills as well as pulmonary sac together, then it will be the answer that is pilla. अब रेस्पिरेशन के लिए जैसे ह्यूमंस हैव हीमोग्लोबिन फॉर द ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ गैसेस, वैसे for respiration in this mollusks they will have hemocyanin, and this hemocyanin, as you know from the Arthropoda video as well, hemocyanin का color क्या होता है? Color is going to be blue, and that blue color is because of copper ions. So that was about respiration. Moving ahead with circulation, so circulation, mollusca is also going to have open circulation. उनके पास closed नहीं आएगा, they will have open circulation. And even with open circulation there is an exception. अब exception क्या है? You need to remember that there is going to be a class that is called as cephalopods. अब cephalopods जो class है उनमें closed circulatory system is going to be found. So this is important. Closed circulatory systems अभी तक till now, as we have completed till mollusca, closed circulatory system सिर्फ दो जगह पे आया है. Which two phylums? First of all, that was Annelida, or you can say annelids, and now that we have studied, that is cephalopods. Only these two are going to be the examples till mollusca phylum that have closed circulatory system. So this information is only till mollusk, right? आगे closed circulatory system आएगा, but if you consider it for invertebrates, only these two are going to have closed system. A closed system is going to be much more efficient, but since majority of them have open circulatory system, so in them what is going to happen? उनकी जो circulation होगी, the blood is going to be pumped by the heart and it will pass through large vessels. Now these vessels will open into large body cavities that are called as sinuses. So if you see in the diagram as well, heart है, heart में there is going to be pumping and the blood starts to flow out. अब ये वेसल्स में से जा जाके हीमोसील तक पहुंचेगा, एंड दिस हीमोसील इज नथिंग बट द लार्ज ओपन स्पेसेस. अब ये ओपन स्पेसेस में हर जगह पे योर ब्लू कलर्ड ब्लड इज गोइंग टू गेट फिल्ड बिकॉज ऑफ हीमोसाइनिन. नाउ वेरेवर दिस इज गोइंग टू गेट फिल्ड अप, अब यहाँ से फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू कंसिडर ऑक्सीजनेटेड इज गोइंग टू कम, वहाँ पे गैदर हो जाएगा. देर आर गोइंग टू बी इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स जो O2 ले लेंगे, CO2 बाहर फेंकेंगे, and CO2 will also get mixed into this particular hemosil. So there will be mixing of blood. What is going to happen? There is going to be mixing of blood, and because of mixing of blood the efficiency of the organism decreases. So as the efficiency decreases, what is going to happen? वो generally इतना ज़्यादा movement नहीं दिखाएंगे, they won't show activeness, and because of all those things they will be sitting somewhere lazily in the surroundings. So about here hemosil में जैसे diffusion हो गया, now the remaining blood also needs to go because तब तक again new blood is going to be pumped by the heart, so circulation must go on. So hemosil से again there will be some vessels that are going to carry that deoxygenated blood into the gills. अब gills में क्या होगा? Gills में होगा oxygenation, and from that the oxygenated blood will be carried to the heart for further pumping. So ऐसे करके पूरा circulatory system is going to get completed, which is going to be the open type of circulatory system. Instead अगर closed circulatory system होना होता तो what would have happened? For closed circulatory system, these vessels that were opening into the hemocoel, that would have been closed. So if they would have been closed, and then they would have capillaries. तो कैपिलरीज है, देन दे आर क्लोज्ड सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम, और अगर उनके पास हीमोसील है या लार्ज कैविटीज है, देन इट इज ओपन सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम. मूविंग अहेड विथ एक्सक्रीशन, तो एक्सक्रीशन जो है दैट विल बी परफॉर्म्ड बाय द feather like gills which were present in the visceral hump. तो ये जो गिल्स होंगे वो रेस्पिरेशन के साथ साथ एक्सक्रीशन फंक्शन भी फॉलो करेंगे. दे आर गोइंग टू सेपरेट द वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स फ्रॉम द ब्लड. अब वो वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स ब्लड में से क्यों सेपरेट आउट कर सकते हैं? सिंस दे आर रेस्पिरेटरी ऑर्गन्स है, यानी दीज आर द गिल्स जहाँ पे ऑक्सीजनेशन होगा. तो ऑक्सीजनेशन होने के लिए देयर इज गोइंग टू बी रिच सप्लाई ऑफ ब्लड, and where there is rich supply of blood, वहाँ पे blood आ ही रहा है, then why don't you undergo excretion as well? So respiration, that is oxygenation of blood के साथ साथ वहाँ पे exchange of waste products is also going to occur. So that was about the feather like gills. Now there is one more organ that is going to be added in this part because it was asked in a previous year question. A previous year question है, so you must know about it. So previous year question में it was organ of Bonadis. Organ of Bojanus is going to serve as kidneys. So this is also in some mollusks, हर mollusk में नहीं होगा, in some mollusks they do have this organ, and it was asked that what is the function or whom does it resemble? So that answer would have been nothing but kidneys. और एक क्वेश्चन आता है अबाउट Heber's organ. So Heber's organ is also called as pericardial gland, and it is going to pour the waste into the pericardium, और pericardium that is the heart. So heart के पास में वो waste pour हो जाएगा, and from there the waste will be carried out into the organ of Bojanus, और Bojanus से वहाँ से वापस excrete हो जाएगा. So that was in relation with the previous year questions that you need to know. A very important thing that we saw about the kidneys over here, they function as kidneys. So if they function like kidneys, what sort of kidneys do they possess? So if you speak about previous phylums, तो हमने Platyhelminthes पढ़ा था which were having flatworms. So these flatworms also had excretory organs. So excretory organs उनमें कैसे था? They had kidneys that have protonephridia. What do they have? They have protonephridia. Now if you speak about annelids, how were they? They were nothing but the roundworms. Now these roundworms were having kidneys that were having their units called as nephridia. So you understand differences. Protonephridia किसमें था? Flatworms में था. Nephridia किसमें है? Roundworms में है. Now as we are studying about mollusca or soft bodied organisms, you are going to have metanephridia. What you need to remember for this, that mollusca is going to have metanephridia. Since we are studying about metanephridia in this video, तो आपको पहले के भी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए so that you can revise it all together. So Platyhelminthes में protonephridia, Annelida में nephridia, and Mollusca में metanephridia. So that was a little comparison that can be done from the previous phylums. About sensory system, the sensory system उनके पास sense organs ज़्यादा developed हो जाते हैं. So sometimes the mollusk can have sensory tentacles. So tentacles जो है, these are going to be sensitive to touch. So if something touches to the organism, that is mollusk, so they can respond because they have these sensory receptors for touch. They also have eyes which are going to detect light. अब eyes जो होंगे, they can be simple eyes or they can be complex eyes. So simple eyes, example humans के पास होते हैं simple eyes, but insects have complex eyes. So complex eyes में in the previous part of the phylum we saw कि complex eyes में there are going to be small units which will form the image all together. So that individual of unit जो complex eyes बनाएगा, that name we had discussed in the previous video. So that same technique for complex eyes is going to be seen in the mollusk as well. So simple or complex eyes will be present, but what is going to be special about these eyes which is different from the arthropods eyes, that these eyes are going to be seen on a stalk. Where are they going to be seen? They are going to be seen on the stalk, या you can say वो एक ऐसे extension पे रहेगा. So stalk of the eyes is going to have a name that is called as omatophore. What do you call it? Omatophore. Now omato is related to eyes, जैसे we saw about omatidia, that is the unit of complex eyes, and phore means stalk or the extension. So वो extension जहाँ पे eyes present है. So if you can see in the photograph over here that this particular black region that I have highlighted, that black region is nothing but the omatophore. और जो रेड से है, the red one is going to be nothing but the eyes which are going to detect light. So that is eye, और black से जो है that is omatophore. Now there are going to also be another sensory receptor that is called as statocyst. Statocyst, stato means it is related somewhere to stationary. So stationary, that means to stay at one place. They need balance so that they do not fall off in the ocean. So ocean में move करते time भी, land पे चलते time पे, they need to maintain the balance, and that maintenance of balance is going to be with the help of statocyst. Now these can also have receptors for smell and taste, and if you can observe that these are going to make all these light detect कर सकते हैं, they can maintain their balance, they can smell, taste, and they can also feel the touch. All this is going to make the animal aware about its surroundings, and when the animal is aware it can easily find its food, shelter, and protection. So उसी की वजह से these are going to develop much more easily. Now another sensory systems member that is called as ophraddium. Ophraddium जो होता है, it is going to be a olfactory organ. Olfactory organ, that means it is going to be related to the smelling power. So it is going to sense the chemical nature around itself. So अगर पानी में कोई chemicals है जिसकी वजह से उन्हें तकलीफ हो सकती है, then these soft bodied organisms which have shells, तो ये soft bodied organisms अपनी body को वो shell के अंदर बंद कर लेंगे so that they can get protected from the various changes that are occurring in their surroundings. So वो भी changes detect करने के लिए they need this sensory system so that they can react according to the changing environment. Now the nervous system is also going to help in for responding. जैसे sensory system भी somewhere it is going to go to the brain to process the signals. So that is going to come under the nervous system. अब nervous system जो होगा उसमें होंगे paired ganglia. Ganglias are nothing but bunch of neurons that are going to come and accumulate at a place. So paired ganglia will be present. There will be many nerves which are going to provide the nervous supply to the entire body. अब paired ganglia जो है वो सिर्फ एक जगह पे नहीं है. There are going to be various places which there can be formed. So first of all they can be at the cerebral ganglia, that is near the head region, that is near the cerebral region. Pleural region, yani they would be near the respiratory organ. Visceral, that is going to be near the heart. Commissures, which is going to be near the folds. And connective ganglia, these all are going to make up the ganglia, that is nothing but the brain. So you can also see in the photograph कि उनके पास brain होगा, उनके पास nerves होंगे, they will have ganglia, and they will have eye which is going to detect light as the sensory organ. So all this is going to help them to maintain and get aware about their surroundings. About reproduction, एक ही जिंदा नहीं है, एक मर जाए, they need to continue their species, so reproduction is necessary. So some animals are going to be dioecious, that means their sexes are going to be separate, so there will be separate male and female. So separate male and female ऐसे कौन से examples में आपको देखने मिलेगा, तो you will have pila, then sepia, oligo, or octopus. These are going to have separate males and females. But if you see for the examples of Plexa or Doris, they will have monoecious condition जहाँ पे sexes are common. They are common for body. So एक ही body में there are going to be males and female organs formed, and because of that they become hermaphrodites or also bisexual. And very important thing that the females are going to be oviparous. Oviparous yani they are going to be egg laying organisms. They are not going to give direct birth, but they are going to lay eggs. अब fertilization जो होगा, it can be either internal or it can be external, but generally internal is more common. Internal fertilization is common, and internal fertilization के अपने advantages है that you have already studied in the lower classes, so not discussing it again. You can always go and refer to your previous chapters as well, जहाँ आपको बताया जाएगा about the internal fertilization is going to be much more safer, and it will be much more advantageous with the reference to the fertilization rate. Then about development, it can also be direct or indirect, but generally indirect development is more common. So more common characteristics क्या है? It is going to be internal fertilization with indirect development. अब direct development भी होता है, but where can you find this? You can find in the examples of loligo, in sepia and octopus. There will be direct development, यानी उनका जो offspring होगा it will be looking just like the एडल्ट फॉर्म, बस साइज छोटा होगा. बट इनडायरेक्ट डेवलपमेंट में लार्वल फॉर्मेशन होगा, देयर विल बी लार्वल स्टेजेस, एंड दिस लार्वल स्टेज is going to be free swimming, and that is called as trochophore larva. So trochophore larva हमने एक बार पहले भी पढ़ा था. So if you remember where did we see trochophore larva in some previous phylum, then do let me know in the comment section down below. So do comment हमने trochophore larva पहले कहाँ पढ़ा था. So where did we study previously about trochophore larva? So just as a revision, you will also try to remember कि trochophore larva हमने कहाँ पढ़ा था. So trochophore larva for now it is going to be free swimming, और वैसे ही there are many more larvas. For pili it will be veliger larva, and for there will be Dolchidium larva. So that was about the reproduction, fertilization and development. Here we are going to discuss about some examples. Examples बहुत सारे होते हैं on basis of classes that we study, but classes के description में हमें details में नहीं जाना है because it is not mostly asked. So only the examples are asked, and there are certain descriptions which are speciality for that particular identification of the example. So only those we will discuss, and that would be sufficient for you to clear through the MCQs. So here we see about the first example, that is Neopilina galathea. अब ये जो example है, it is going to be special because it has majorly 3 important points to remember. First point है that it is going to be a living fossil. What is it? It is a living fossil because ये जो class से belong करता है, that class के बाकी के जो members है वो सारे extinct हो चुके हैं, and this is the only particular example that is going to be living. So उसको बोल दिया living fossil. Now very second important thing that it is going to be the connecting link. अब connecting link क्या होता है? Evolution होता है, you must have heard about it in previous classes as well. So evolution is not going to directly come into existence. धीरे धीरे कुछ animals अपने आप को change करते हैं so that they can develop. So वो जो डेवलपमेंटल बीच की जो स्टेज होती है wherein the two phylums characteristics interchange. So for example, in the case of Neopilina, it is going to have both characteristics for Annelida as well as for Mollusca. So Annelida का कौन सा major characteristic उसने choose किया है? It has segmented body. So if I can see उनके पास ऐसे constricted segments होंगे and that is going to make the only segmented mollusk of the entire examples. Q, because it is the connecting link, so it has some characteristics of Annelida and majority characteristics of Mollusca. So majority Mollusca के characteristics है, so you place it under the phylum Mollusca. अगर वो ऐसा उल्टा होता then it would have been placed in the Annelida. but उसने Annelida के characters धीरे धीरे छोड़कर Mollusca में develop होने लगा. So you can see majority of the characteristics of mollusk. Second example is about Chetopleura. So you can see how the Chetopleura looks like. Third example is about Dentalium. Dentalium के बारे में पूछा जाता है, that is the other name of it. So other name, it is also commonly called as elephant tusk shell. So if you can see the photograph, it looks like elephant's tusk. So elephant tusk के जैसे दिखने की वजह से it has the name that is elephant tusk shell or Dentalium. Then Pilla. Pilla is going to have another name that is apple snail. Apple snail यानी मराठी में उसको गोगुल गाय भी बोलते हैं. So it is going to be the slowest creeping organism and it is going to creep with the help of its muscular foot. So locomotion is going to be very slow and it will have a heavy shell on its body. So वो जो heavy shell होगा, that is nothing but going to create torsion in the digestive tract. So that is regarding the torsion. फिर next example जो है, that is Aplexia. It is also going to be having another name जो होता है sea hare. So वो कोई rabbit नहीं है, it is not going to be hare, वो बस दिखता वैसे है. So the name that is sea hare. So you should not get confused because sea cucumber, sea comb, ऐसे बहुत सारे जो नाम है common names, they have come under the phylum of Cnidarians as well. So generally they ask you to find out the incorrect pair or they try to find out the odd man out. So odd man out में ऐसे कुछ Ctenophores के examples, कुछ Cnidarians के examples, and they try to mix this sea hare somewhere. So you should not get confused that sea hare is going to be a mollusk. That should be fitted into your head, right? So sea hare is a mollusk. Then about Unio. Unio is going to be a freshwater mussel. What is its characteristic? It is a freshwater mussel. So this is also eaten as a delicacy. वो clams जैसे खाते हैं. So just like clams, even these are going to be eaten. उनके अंदर जो soft mass होता है, that soft body organism. ये जो बाहर से दिख रहा है, बाहर से दिखने वाला क्या है? It is the shell of the organism or the mollusk. अब mollusk की actual body कहाँ है? That body is inside this shell. और वो जो inside of the shell है, that is going to be eaten by the humans as food. Another example that is very important with the reference to exams, that is Pinctada. Pinctada is going to be also called as pearl oyster. So pearls, girls very well know that how pretty pearls look. So these are nothing but pearls oyster, wherein if you open this many a times you can find these pearls that are forming inside this body. So mollusk जिनके पास shell होते हैं, majority of those which have shells can have pearl formation. But majority अगर पूछा जाए, the pearl oyster कौन सा है? Pinctada. So that is important with the matching, or you can say correct pair, or all that types of question you can ask. Pinctada is called as pearl oyster. फिर next example आता है about sepia. Sepia is called as cuttlefish. What do you call it as? Cuttlefish. फिर next example है, that is loligo. Loligo is called as squid. What is its name? It is called as squid और उसको और एक नाम है, that is sea arrow. सो हमने अभी दो सी रिलेटेड देखे. फर्स्ट वी सॉ अबाउट सी हेयर विच इज अ mollusk. वी सॉ अबाउट सी एरो विच इज ऑल्सो अ mollusk. फिर लास्ट एग्जाम्पल है दैट इज ऑक्टोपस. ऑक्टोपस इज कॉल्ड एज डेविल फिश. सो हियर वन मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट यू नीड टू रिमेंबर कि क्वेश्चंस में हमको कैसे कंफ्यूज करते हैं. क्वेश्चंस में कंफ्यूज करते हैं अबाउट कटल फिश एंड डेविल फिश. कटल फिश एंड डेविल फिश आर नॉट अ फिश. व्हाट आर दे आर नॉट अ फिश. ऐसे नॉट अ फिश वाला और एक एग्जाम्पल हमने देखा था इन द प्रीवियस फाइलम दैट वाज सिल्वर फिश. सो सिल्वर फिश भी फिश नहीं होता है. सिल्वर फिश इज अ आर्थ्रोपोड. cuttlefish and devilfish are mollusks. So जैसे fish दिखता है you go and try to choose the option that they are related to Pisces. So Pisces क्या होते हैं? They are the fish category. But जैसे cuttlefish का नाम देखा Pisces टिक करके आ गए -1 question wrong. But you need to remember कि cuttlefish, devilfish mollusk है, silverfish arthropod है. So that was a little thing that all the examples we have covered, and we have also covered the important common names and some characteristics जिसके ऊपर question पूछे जाते हैं. So this examples and this much amount of information about each is sufficient to answer all the questions. Moving ahead with a very important and very interesting topic, that is pearl formation. Pearl formation जो होता है, if everyone knows about pearl, but still let's understand कि pearl क्या होता है. It is going to be a white shining globular in shape, and these pearls are going to be used as ornaments. So these are the beads जिसको एक ऐसे string में बांध के many females love to wear these white shiny pearls. अब ये जो pearls होते हैं these are naturally formed, and this naturally formation occurs in the shelled mollusk. किसमें होता है? It will be in the shelled mollusk. So who is called as the pearl making? Pearl generally कौन से example से linked है? It is going to be linked with the pearl oyster, also called as pinctada. But there are many other shelled mollusks जिसके अंदर you can find sometimes the pearl formation occurring. So pearl formation जो होगा, it will start in the oysters naturally, and it will start because of a reaction. वो रिएक्शन किस वजह से होता है? दैट whenever a external particle, any external particle, that might be a sand particle or any other small organism that was floating in the ocean, अगर वो ये शेल के अंदर जाके फंस जाता है, it gets entangled in the skin, and because it is entangled वो आपको खुजली जैसा इरिटेशन महसूस होगा for that organism. And when that irritation occurs because of the external particle, that irritation is going to start stimulating the mantle. अब जो mantle था जो cover कर रहा था about the head and the body parts, so that mantle is going to start secreting a thin concentric layers of nair. So this is going to be a very important point to remember. ये जो नेक्रे होता है, this is going to be made up of calcium carbonate along with proteins. So ये जो this is going to be started यानी for example अगर ये कोई ऐसे worm है या ये कोई external substance है, उसके ऊपर क्या हो जाएगा? There will be small layers, और ये लेयर्स एक के ऊपर एक फॉर हंड्रेड्स एंड थाउजेंड्स ऑफ ईयर्स जैसे एक के ऊपर एक आते जाएंगे, एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू मेक नथिंग बट द pearl formation occurring inside the shell of that mollusk. So वो जो concentric layers है, these are going to be secreted by the mantle, और जैसे deposition ज़्यादा होगा, जितना ज़्यादा thick pearl होगा, जितना size pearl का बड़ा होगा, that much amount of irritation is going to occur. Why? Because अगर pearl छोटा है, okay, the size of the pearl is small, यानी उनका जो secretion of the नेकर था वो कम अमाउंट के लिए, कम टाइम के लिए था, तो कम टाइम के लिए था, so the pearl size has been smaller. So small pearl size, that means irritation, or the what do you say, वो जो ऑर्गेनिज्म है उसको तकलीफ कम टाइम के लिए हुई थी, और अगर वही बहुत बड़ा पर्ल है, बहुत बड़ा पर्ल है, दैट मीन्स द इरिटेशन लेवल हैज़ बीन फॉर सच अ लॉन्ग टाइम, कि धीरे धीरे एक एक लेयर इतनी बनाते गया वो बॉडी कि वो इरिटेशन उसको इतने सालों तक रही. सो एज द पर्ल साइज इंक्रीजेस इन नेचुरल पर्ल्स, द मोर अमाउंट ऑफ इरिटेशन दैट द oyster has undergone. So for many several years, at the end a single pearl is going to be formed because of the reaction for the irritation in the skin. But ये तो natural pearl हुआ. Artificial pearls are also formed by chemical procedures, और वो chemical procedures में calcium carbonate is going to be used for the formation of इंडस्ट्रियल और यू कैन से आर्टिफिशियल पर्ल्स. अब ये पर्ल फॉर्मेशंस जो होता है, यू कैन सी इन द डायग्राम that there will be first of all foreign substance. So you can see here in the blue color that foreign substance or foreign body is going to come and settle into the mantle epithelium. मेटल एपिथेलियम के नीचे जाके अगर वो उधर अटैच हो जाता है, that will cause irritation. It will not be supported by the soft body. उसकी वजह से जो मेंटल है वो सिक्रीशन स्टार्ट करेगा. दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज मदर ऑफ पर्ल. मदर ऑफ पर्ल इज नथिंग बट नैकर. सो उसके ऊपर धीरे 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 सिक्रेशंस ऑफ लेयर्स पे लेयर्स बढ़ते जाएगा, एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू फॉर्म द पर्ल. So इसके videos also I'll try to show you in this particular next slides. So you can see here in the photographs कि ये pearls formation कैसे होता है. So you can see here how the pearls are going to be there because of the irritation, और फिर उसको they will be separated out from the shell. वो जो this little part that is going to be seen, this is nothing but the soft body, the soft body of the animal. वो जो animal है, that is the mollusk, its small soft body is going to be here. That is all the mantle and all this visceral organs वगैरह सब यहाँ पे present होंगे, and the pearl formation will occur inside the shell. अब अगर pearl चाहिए, humans are in search of pearls, but pearls जब वो shell के अंदर होते हैं, you need to extract them, और extraction के time पे these soft bodied animals are going to be killed. क्योंकि जैसे ही शेल आप खोल दोगे, द बॉडी इज गोइंग टू गेट डिटैच्ड. वो जो एक साथ चिपकी हुई थी वो खुल जाएगी, दे विल डाई, एंड विद द डेथ ऑफ द मोलस्क यू आर गोइंग टू एक्सट्रैक्ट पर्ल्स. सो ऐसे पर्ल्स तो क्या ज़रूरी है फॉर ह्यूमन्स, दैट दे आर गोइंग टू किल दैट innocent animal, extract the pearls. और वो pearls भी किस वजह से बने थे, वो भी दर्द सहने के बाद बने थे, because of the irritation. That irritation had been gone into that body, और उसकी वजह से pearls बने थे. It was not for for beauty purposes, but it was because of the hard work or the pain that the body had been undergone. But वो इतना खूबसूरत है that humans love them, and once after the irritation वो भी कम पड़े तो humans उसको मार के खोल देते हैं, and they are going to extract these pearls which are naturally formed. So in this particular video हम देखने वाले हैं how naturally the formation of pearl occurs. So this video will try to help you to understand how the formation of pearl occurs inside the body of the mollusk. So here we go and try to understand with the help of this video.
Like this creature, Australia's South Sea pearl oyster, also known as the silver-lipped oyster. Although it's not much to look at on the outside, on the inside, it has the ability to produce one of the most valuable gems known to mankind. Any mollusk that produces a shell can produce a pearl. That includes abalone, marine snails, clams, mussels, and oysters. The South Sea pearl oyster that lives here produces the cream of the crop. It's a solitary creature that can grow to around 1 foot, living for up to 40 years. As a result, the pearls it creates are the largest, most lustrous of all. In recent years, a single Australian South Sea pearl was sold for over $1.5 million. The notion that a pearl always forms when a grain of sand enters the creature is a myth. Another possibility is that some tiny organism invades the creature and disrupts the cells in the mantle. Then, something miraculous happens. The oyster begins to secrete a smooth crystalline substance known as nacre. Nacre, or mother of pearl, is made of the same material which forms the inside of the shell. This combination of calcium carbonate and protein is both lighter and stronger than concrete. It takes several years for thousands of layers of nacre to build up and create a smooth, iridescent gem. But it's a rare event. A pearl of value is found in less than 1 in 10,000 wild pearl oysters.
So ये वीडियो से आपको अगर पता चला हो that pearls formation is going to be because of the irritation, और ये irritation के बाद जो pearl formation होगा, it is not necessary that each and every shelled mollusk is going to have that oyster found in its body. हो सकता है that some oysters do not have them, और very sadly जब ये humans उन्हें extract करते हैं and they do not find the pearls in them, they directly throw away those bodies. So that is a very sad story about the mollusks, और इसकी वजह से because of the increasing demands, many people go for hunting of these pearls into the oceans. और ये सारे जो clamped या shelled mollusk है जो pearl formation के काबिल है, all those are going to be extracted and then they are going to be opened up for the search of pearls. So उसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है, their natural habitat has been declining, उनका जो population है वो कम हो रहा है, and because of all these things there are going to be somewhere or the other natural problems that are going to occur because of this high industry prices that are going to be for the natural pearls found. Now here is the another video जहाँ पे हम देखेंगे how the pearls are going to be harvested for increasing demands. So ये increasing demands में बहुत सारे shelled mollusks को एक साथ लाया जाएगा and they would be opened to extract the pearls and finally form the ornaments that everyone adores. So let's see this and try to understand how the process actually goes through. So here we go. So this was about the pearl harvesting. Harvesting कैसे होती है, how in big large bulk quantities how the pearls are going to be extracted, and these are going to be then polished and made into these beautiful necklaces and going to be sold to the beautiful ladies. So that was about the pearl formation and the pearl harvesting industry. So this completes about the mollusk. After seeing the characteristics, examples, and even some small topics that was related to pearls. So moving ahead for our video. So after completing about the theory के बाद आपको क्या करना होता है? As you all know, we have to solve questions. So here are some 5 questions that would help you, and many more to go. You have to find out some books wherein you can have these topic wise or chapter wise questions, and you can also go for previous year questions so that you can understand what part is going to be much more important, so that you cannot make mistakes during the final exam. So you can answer these questions in the comments down below, and while you solve other questions from other books, there might be some questions that you like to share in our videos. तो आप comments में वो सारे questions भी आप options के साथ comment section में डाल सकते हो, so that would be helpful for some other viewers on our channel as well. So do help others and help yourself, so that another time when you come you can also answer those. So help everyone, help yourself, that's the policy, and we like those. So don't forget to write down your views and some questions answers in the comment section. That would be always appreciated. So with this, we finally complete another phylum of Mollusca. We'll come back soon with the next phylum. Till then, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And till then, keep studying, keep smiling. Don't forget to stay connected to Biophilia. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.